Hey there, I'm Shannon, your RC princess. Welcome to my channel where we dive into all things radio controlled, crawlers, bashers, builds, and more. Whether you're new to the hobby or a seasoned pro, I'm so glad you're here. Let's have some fun and make RC magic together. So you received the Spectrum DX6 rugged radio for Christmas. Now what? Today I'll be showing you everything you need to know to get your new DX6 rugged radio set up, including creating new models, naming said models, binding, adjusting travel and sub-trims, and more. Let's get our RC adventure started. What's up guys? Happy New Year's! Before we get into the nitty-gritty of setting up your new radio, I want to do a quick overview for those who have never owned a rugged and why I think they are an awesome must-have. This is a DX6 transmitter tutorial. These bad boys right here are, just as the name would suggest, rugged. They are super durable and can withstand harsh conditions, and also are great for people who are not so steady on their feet. Hi, it's me. It's got rubber lining all the way around for drop protection, and then also the steering wheel being a tire gives you the tread for, grip, so your fingers aren't sliding all around. One difference coming from the DX5 rugged to the DX6 rugged is the screen is now backlit, making it perfect for night crawling and just really being able to see the screen. Also, the touchpad is a little more user-friendly on the DX6 than the DX5. This one wasn't bad, it just took a little getting used to, whereas this one is much more user-friendly, I would say. I got used to this one, but I really prefer the touchpad on this one, the DX6. All in all, I'm really happy that they made those little tiny changes. They were tiny, but they made all the difference in the world. Another tiny little difference from the DX5 to the DX6 is they added a USB-C port on the back, making it easier for firmware updates and stuff. And also I heard that you can plug it in and play racing games with it. I have not personally done that, but I heard that you can. So if anybody has tried that, let us know in the comments down below. Also, the other only difference is we're going from 5 channels to 6 channels, as the names would suggest. The rugged radios have an extensive model memory featuring up to 20 models, which really cuts down on how many radios you have to take with you. I know in my stock radio days, there were times that I was bringing 15 radios with me for 3 different people, and having these radios just really cuts back on, remembering to grab just one radio. All in all, these radios were created for those RC enthusiasts who love crawling outdoors. I absolutely hate indoor crawling. I'd rather not if I didn't have to. And so these allow me to go out and be outdoors and not worry about it. I would not want to be taking an expensive, fragile radio outside for me personally, just because I am so clumsy. I trip over air. I trip over my own feet. It's crazy, you guys. So these allow me to do what I love outdoors without all the anxiety and the scariness of, oh, what if I drop my radio? You're protected. I also really think that they are a great price point. For everything that you get for the price, I think it's a no-brainer. You get a really, really nice upgraded radio without breaking the bank. So now let's move on to getting this bad boy operational. Today I will be setting up my Axial CJ7 on the new DX6 rugged. I also want to mention that the process I'm about to share with you also works on the DX5C and the DX5 rugged, obviously, so it's all the same. So what works for one will work for the other, and it's a pretty simple process when you think about it. So first things first, you're going to turn on the radio, which is just this power button right here. And I did notice coming from the DX5 that the DX6 turns on a lot quicker. Not crazy, but it does, it just seems to turn on and off quicker than the DX5. Not that it really matters. I just haven't heard anybody talk about it and I was surprised. So next you will want to go to Model Select and we're going to add a new model. We're going to hit Create. And now we have to give this model a name because you guys, once you get past like 2 models on this radio, you will not remember which one is which. So for your sanity, please name them something you can distinguish the trucks between. So we're going to go in and name it. And so it takes a little getting used to, but basically you're just going to hit down until you get to the space that you want to put a character. Then you're going to hit OK. And then you are going to go up or down and find the character you want. So in this case, we're just going to name it CJ7 because that is super easy to input, super easy to remember. And then you'll find the C, you'll hit OK, then you'll push down to move to the next spot. So down to move right, up to move left. Then you're going to hit OK. Go down. Oh, you know what? We're going to do all capitals because that's going to drive me nuts. So, yep, we're going to do all capitals. Hit OK. Just kidding. We need a J. J. And then we're going to go over here and we are going to find 7. There we go. And then to clear out all these, you don't have to find like the space. You just click on it, hit clear, hit OK, move on, click OK, clear, OK, down. And there we go. Now its name is CJ7. We're going to hit the back button and we're going to go up to model, select, and select the CJ7. So now it is on the CJ7 that we just created. So the CJ7 is equipped with the dig function, which this right here is where I'm going to unplug it. It doesn't matter when you do this as long as you unplug it before you assign the auxiliary, because then you risk burning it out. On some rigs, they start way too high and you might burn it out before you even get a chance to use it. So in a minute, we will turn the travel down to 50% each way before we plug it back in. But for my sanity, and so I remember, I unplug it at this step. So we're gonna unplug auxiliary 1. And that way we know we're not gonna burn it out or nothing. So now we're gonna bind the truck to the radio, and to do that you will just hit OK to get to the main menu, and we're going to go all the way down to bind and frame. And I like to select bind, but don't push it yet. We're not ready. The truck is not in bind mode. So to do that, we're just going to plug in the battery. And on your receiver, there will be a little button that says bind. You'll want to push that and turn the car on at the same time. Like you'll want to turn the truck on while pushing bind. And as you can see, that is flashing red and green. So now we're going to hit bind on the radio. If you guys saw that, it went from flashing to a continuous green. So now it is bound and ready to go. And I noticed that the throttle is backwards. So when I give it gas, it goes backwards. When I give it brake, it goes forward. Easy fix, no worries. Go into the main menu again. Go to reverse, throttle, change it to reverse, yes. And now it's going the right way. So we're good on that. We can go back. It is now bound and we can move on to the other components that are really important to make sure you're getting great performance. So my first step is I like to go into sub trim and get the tires as straight as possible. If anything, it needs to go to the right just a little bit. It's pretty spot on, but I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing because it's kind of hard to get the angles and stuff, but it does need to go to the right just a hair. So we're going to go into the main menu again and go to sub trim. and we're gonna go to steering, click on it, and go to the right. Okay, I couldn't do that like on camera because I couldn't see what I was doing. But so I put it 32 to the right, and I would say, in my opinion, the tires are pretty spot on straight now, so we can move on from that. So now we can go into travel and adjust our steering to make sure we're getting enough each way, but we don't want bindings. So sometimes it'll hit the springs, it'll hit the links, it'll hit something, and then you just adjust it so it's not hitting it. So you want full turn without binding. So you just go into travel and go down to steering. Okay, so I was actually able to get a little more out of it without binding. So I have 107 to the left, 109 to the right, and I think I'm gonna call that good, just because I don't want to risk any bindings, and it might be, adjustments might be made once I'm out on the trail and can actually, you know, see without a tripod sitting in front of my face. But for right now, we're gonna call that good. So we've set the travel for the steering, we've set the sub trim, all of that is good. Now we're going to go back to the dig function and get that all set up. So what you'll do is you will go to auxiliary assign, and I'm going to put it in channel 1. Oops. And I like G and inhibit. So that is the settings that I use and I really like. And then you just go back. I like to put it on G because it's really easy for me right there to access, like, you know, versus putting up there, like I can one-hand it. So that's where I like to put my dig function. So now we are going to go back to travel. And we're going to go to auxiliary 1, and we're just going to turn that down to 50%. I like to go to 50% just to be on the safe side. I said 50, not 49. And then to get to the other 100%, you just click your button. And there we go. So now I don't believe there is any fear of burning it out before we've even gotten to use it, because it does start at 100 and sometimes that is just too much for certain trucks. So I like to just be on the safe side all the time, turn it down to 50% each way, and then we can give it more if need be. So now we can go ahead and plug the dig servo back into the auxiliary 1 port, and we can adjust the travel. So right now I'm not hearing any buzzing or whining, which is really good. So I'm just going to play with it until I am happy. I'm going to keep the engaged position at 70% because I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's no buzzing when I turn it up higher, but that servo is really, it was really moving and now it's not. And the tires are locked. So I'm going to keep it there. That's what I like. Again, you guys, this is my preference. This is how I set it up. You guys are welcome to do what you want to do. But yeah, if it's working, I don't see a reason to put it to the max. And in my case, I hardly ever use dig functions, so it doesn't matter to me, but you know, it's nice to have when need be. So again, I'm gonna disengage it now so it's not in the engaged position, and I'm gonna just turn it up. You know, I think I'm just going to leave them both at 70 just to be on the safe side. So when I flip it back and forth, there's no whining or buzzing or nothing. And the servo is not moving too much. So that's where I like it. Again, you guys can play with it yourselves to see what you like. I'm sure somebody else would tell me, you know, you need more, you need more. Well, for a person who doesn't really use the dig servo, I don't really care. But that is how you set it up so you can, you know, find out what works for you. So just a little side note, I know this isn't the Gladiator, but when the Axial SCX 10.3 Gladiators first came out, it seemed like everybody was burning out their dig servos. Now, I can't say 100% this is why mine didn't burn out, but it seems to me, as far as I know, anybody who has added rock lights to their Gladiator has not had a problem anymore with dig servos burning out. It's almost like that servo needed the rock lights capacitor. I don't really know, but all I know is I'm going to put rock lights on the CJ7 when I get around to it. My Gladiator already has the rock lights, and yeah, it pretty much has had the rock lights since the beginning. So could be a coincidence. I'm not really sure, but I just thought I'd throw that information out for you. Rock lights are really fun, and if there's a chance that it's going to save your dig servo, then why not? And I also wanted to mention one other little thing, just so you guys know, it's not as easy to set up the dig function and the endpoints on the stock radio as it is, say, a DX5 or a DX6. So just food for thought on that as well. Just another reason to buy one of these radios, because it makes your life easier for adjustments and, you know, making the little adjustments that give you the best crawling experience, or bashing, whatever it may be. This might go without being said, but these radios are not just for crawlers, they also work for bashers. I have my Fire Team on my DX5, and I have the Mojave on the DX5, I believe. So I have a mix of crawlers and bashers, not a problem. I'm just specifically using the CJ7 today because that is the one that I wanted to put on this radio. And that's it. We've set up our new DX6 Rugged and got it ready for adventure. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe for more RC tips and tricks. Now you can hit the trails with your new DX6 Rugged radio from Spectrum. Let me know down in the comments below who all has gotten the DX6 Rugged and what your thoughts are on it. And also let me know what models you plan to throw on the DX6 Rugged. Thanks guys, I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!